Beloveds, let's get into this sneak peek for the up and coming week before we go into our 7-day outlook tomorrow. As I was getting out my deck from Seed and Sickle to roll in our nature allies, these cards fell out and hit the floor. So, this is a great place to start. We're going to begin with Cherry. In terms of today and how today is going to roll into tomorrow. Ooh, one of the earliest trees to bloom and one of the first to produce fully ripened fruit, with laden branches throughout the year. It's truly the symbol of productivity and abundance. Now is the time to engage in your own season of productivity, even if others are at rest. The circumstances have all come together to provide the perfect setting for addressing tasks you've been putting off lately. And an abundance of resources. Ooh, an abundance of resources means that this is the perfect time to focus on what your body is telling you as well. Whether that's a balanced diet or a more regular sleep schedule. Listening to its needs and letting it guide you forward. Talk about the synchronicities with that. So many different discussions about what we don't want around us and what we don't want in us. All right, let's move along with continuing to do what love and our body asks of us going into the upcoming week. Now let's bring in Hawthorne. Number 27. The wisdom of the past is all around us, and there's plenty that we can learn from it. Hawthorne helps us to reconnect with these stories, carrying a link to the spirits of the past and the scent of its blossoms, and helping us to speak with them. What's stopping you from moving forward? Consult your past. Think about when you or a member of your community may have encountered something similar before. Taking time to sit quietly or indulge in meditation is not a sign of laziness. So, it looks as though yet another interesting way to tell us to balance out both. But there's something that we've been holding back on, or some kind of something that we've been putting off that's ready for takeoff. But also, in order for the abundance to continue to flow with whatever it is that's taking off, we also have to balance things out with rest and meditation. And more so, this is about not being hard on ourselves when we have to take a bit of a break. Even if others can't see it, we know our own worth. Bringing in the thistle and number 37. And then we're going to bring in some creature teachers from the woodland wardens very soon. Number 37. Something that was holding us back from making progress something that was bottled up, creating some kind of aggravation. Whatever it was found and confronted. The process of removing the thorn. The process of removing the thorn that could only come from facing it, speaking up about it. And our found family is there to help us on our journey as much as we have helped them on theirs. This is a joint relationship, not necessarily of the romantic type. But we have so much to give, and the world around us is ready to give back to us. Our found family is there to help us on our journey. True fulfillment. This joint relationship is the most emotionally satisfying of all, and the pleasure of providing for others is its own reward. Wow. What a beautiful message from the thistle. Let's get it centered. Man, all that time those cards were not centered, but it'll be all right. And then we also have the crocus. A valuable ally. Reaching for it even when we don't need it, becoming familiar with it as it employs determination in our everyday lives. It will only benefit us. With this strength in hand, we can achieve anything. Like the stubborn crocus that endures the thickest frosts to bloom, we've always managed to find that part of us that is strong and unmoving when times have been tough. Beloveds, I'm getting this rising feeling that this upcoming week is going to be the best yet. And the best is yet to come. Speaking up for yourself can be one of the hardest things to do. Particularly if you don't feel as though your opinion is worth being heard. But being assertive doesn't mean coming across as aggressive. You're simply letting people know what your needs are and our boundaries, beloveds. Now is the perfect time to speak up about something that's weighing on you. You may be surprised by how it sets things on the path to change. Let's go into the woodland wardens to see what it is that we are being called to speak up about or continue to speak up about. Collective. Even if it's just in your everyday life conversation where it creates an open door for another to be inspired, encouraged, enlightened, a bit more insightful on of their own accord. All right, bringing in the woodland wardens. Here we go. We'll call this section of the session areas where our voices are meant to be carried. Here we go. From our nature allies, the woodland wardens. Ooh, we have 3. Okay, yeah, we have 3 cards on the table. see what we have. We have the snake and the fern. Starting over. There's two more that we will take a look at in just a moment. $34. Can I grow by returning to my point of origin? A rebirth is imminent, summoning the magical protection of the fern and wriggle free of old trappings. Well, I grow them, and they grow wild and naturally all around. That isn't even the least bit of a challenge here. Yes, the snake and the fern calls us to start anew. Regularly shedding its skin, the snake is a symbol of rebirth and transformative healing. And in many cultures, the fern is associated with new life and new beginnings. To the Maori of New Zealand, an image of the unfurling silver fern frond, or koru, is a central motif indicating growth and a return to one's origins. Together, the snake and fern inspire confidence as we start over or embark along a new path. But this is not necessarily us completely revamping or completely transforming into something brand new. This is more about parts of ourselves that have always been here. Always been, I'm trying to be careful how I word this. Those internal allies that have always been here to assist us, but also knowing that we've always had. We never had to really change anything, but we made landfall into a society where we were forced by that very same matrix to submit to this sub-programming. Very few up to this point have had the ability to fully exercise their birthright and avoid that sub-programming. But behind and beneath all of that sub-programming is us, that true, organically good-natured, warm-hearted, healer. We also have the elk and ash with strength. Number 8. Being called to gather our strength and face this new beginning with confidence in our own stamina. More sturdy and resolute, flourishing even in harsh environments, covering great distances over difficult terrain. We are symbols of strength and endurance with colossal crowns. Colossal crowns not to be mistaken for what the modern man or woman understands as a crown. The marten and the foxglove with mischief. Number 24. Pay attention to opportunities for spontaneity, travel, and playfulness. Even a bit of lighthearted mischief, so long as it doesn't hurt anyone, can be healthy. Representing the archetypal trickster, the lighthearted mischief maker, the marten, the lover of chaos and spontaneity. A type of weasel known for their curiosity, quick movements, and occasional aggression. Romanian folklore tells of martens playing tricks on horses and braiding their manes in the night so they wake up to a tangled mess of hair in the morning. And foxgloves are said to be the homes of fairies, another elusive and mischief creature. For this reason, they are associated also with riddles and secrecy. But in the upright, this is all about opportunities for spontaneity, travel, and even more playfulness. Nice. I'm feeling guided to do another pass and shuffle with the Woodland Wardens. And then we are going to draw this message to a close with a spirit animal ally that is going to guard and guide us throughout the remainder of the day on into Monday. And then tomorrow we will go into that miracle manifestation and mission focused Monday message. 7-day outlook. That was me, Miss Thing. Oh, look, that popped right up. Let's see what we have. The Trout and Lily of the Valley. The Trout and Lily of the Valley. Beautiful. This is number 43. Difficulties are subsiding and happiness will soon be restored. Now is the perfect time for quiet meditation and deep introspection. Okay, so we're basically being told to take a break at this moment. So whenever you hear this is when it's meant for you to just take a break, even if it's just a 5-minute breather. All right. Okay. The trout indicates a balanced and healthy ecosystem. So our orbit, our environment, in terms of balance, is being restored. And then with the Lily of the Valley, communicating a return to happiness. Now is the perfect time for quiet meditation and deep introspection. And then we can go back into that spontaneity and playfulness, productivity. Although, never forget, we are not measured by our productivity. At the bottom of the deck in our immediate environment, we have the possum and peony and bashfulness. Number 28. You may wish to hide away from the world. While periods of solitude are necessary and healthful, be sure your retreat isn't driven by fear. And I'm hearing Holy Spirit Mother say, and don't spend too much time in isolation, because even that protective bubble, if you're sitting in it too long, can become a destructive force or a threat, I'm hearing, to our health. Disclaimer alert. Disclaimer alert. Not a doctor, not a diagnosis, not a prescription, not a prognosis. I am simply the messenger. Please do not shoot the messenger. Pew pew. All right, so yes. Remaining quiet and still, even in the faces of danger. Do 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 do. Predators are losing interest. That's strange, but also, how can that not be a good thing? Yes, and similarly, the beautiful peony flower is associated with bashfulness. Something along the lines of remaining on that Team Chill timeline, but also when we are going into productivity mode, to keep it playful, but also spontaneous. Be okay with stepping out of certain routines and spaces even. Something about our presence alone. Yep, our presence alone is plentiful in terms of abundance. Our light, our rosy aura is enough. Beautiful. Now let's draw this message to completion with the wild unknown, animal spirits. Bringing in an animal spirit ally, or whatever comes out. Our companions, guides, and guardians for the next 24 hours. The whale, the eagle. So the whale and the eagle. coming in as our spirit animal allies. Air and water. Interestingly enough, you may have air and water significantly heavy in your chart, but not necessarily. Eagle, air, air, air. The eagle, the eagle, the eagle. This is a good one to have. All-pervading power, truth seeker and transforming karma, bright and radiant. Both physically and spiritually strong and representing mastery over the elements of fire and air. When the eagle appears, you'll soon be thrown into the karmic fire for the sake of your transformation, pushing us to be our best and brightest selves and stopping at nothing to see us shine. We are stronger than we think. And then with the whale, desire to delve deeper, profound peace and ancient wisdom, being calm, steady, and deeply compassionate. Also representing profound emotional health and stability, not afraid of emotional expression or traversing difficult terrain, as they have overcome many challenges in their lives. These experiences have enriched them, giving them stability, strength, and a depth that is rare. Whale energy is usually linked to the feminine forces of compassion and communication. We can depend on whale personalities when all else seems lost and trust them to be a beacon in our darkest hour. So we're being called to be a beacon for others in their darkest hour at this time. If and when we do come out of that restoration, not even if, when we come out of that momentary but also necessary pause, pouring into ourselves, and then we come out and we pour into others. We take flight, and will continue to take flight, soaring higher and higher, realizing the balance and benefit of both, pouring into ourselves and others. There's a depth to us, collective, that our communities are meant to know and be a part of. A beacon of light within us. And keeping that in balance is that regular self-care. But also that spontaneity, because keeping the ego in balance, keeping that energy in balance, is stepping into the unknown, that spontaneity, but with playfulness in mind. Calm, gentle, but also playful. Beacons of light. And that is the message. I want to thank you so very much for tuning in, Multiversal Soul Familia. With much gratitude and appreciation from my heart chakra to yours. Brightest of blessings.